Hold on. We need a ball puller for this weekend in San Diego. So, Chris.
Yeah, so if anybody's going to the San Diego shows this weekend and wants to pull balls, send an email to questions@adamcarolla.com. Put ball puller San Diego in the subject line. Tell us about yourself and which show you're going to. Thanks.
All right.
Well, we've been talking a lot of Kanye and his sort of bombastic anti-Semitic
He got dropped by
thoughts.
Virgin Cola, I think.
That's exactly right. And you can add that to a longer and more growing list. He has lost another business partnership. Adidas announced it is cutting ties with him over his behavior. The company said in a statement, Ye's recent comments and actions have been unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous, and they violate the company's values of diversity and inclusion, mutual respect and fairness. They said they're ending production.
How many sneaker contracts does Adidas have with Jewish fellas? Okay? So
Kanye was right about the Jews.
Before you get up on your mountain, Adidas, tell me how many NBA Jewish players you have lucrative contracts with.
Very good point.
Thank you.
And now, talk about unearthed. Everybody's doing a little digging into Adidas's history. And
They
I
got some World War II stuff.
I have two words for you. Hugo Boss, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, I don't. Well,
apparently the founders of the company had thoughts that may echo some
I mean, if you're in a country and then they go, we got to start making tanks, then you kind of have to start making tanks.
The best dressed tanks on the market.
They did have the best design.
They did.
Of everything.
That's exactly right.
I'm talking about the tanks were the best. The Tiger tank was the best. But I just mean, like, I guess at a certain point it goes past tank and gets into ovens and stuff.
Sure.
And I guess you can be a conscientious objector, but I don't know how you tell the German government in 1941,
Ask Oscar Schindler.
yeah, back off. We're not building anything for you.
Well, I think that, everyone's like, where's Adidas on this? Why are they so quiet? I want to be like, hold on. They're crunching the numbers. Yeah. They have to figure out some things, I'm sure. So apparently the Yeezy brand accounts for 8% of Adidas's total sales. The company expects to take about a $250 million hit. And I'm assuming that that's less than of a hit they would take than if everybody boycotted Adidas.
Yeah.
Court, you ever do any Adidas spots?
I never did. I actually went to them with my free throw documentary to see if they would fund it.
Bullet dodged.
Along with, Nike.
You don't want to be part of that organization.
Yeah, the interesting thing is I think they have, I heard on the news this morning, they have a ton of inventory for Christmas that they're going to eat. But
they're going to give away.
They finally got around to.
He was also dropped by CAA.
Oh, really?
And again, like you said, F me money, like it's not going to make Kanye go away. He's fine.
If those soulless goals dropped him, he must have really done something wrong.
Yes.
They got to work.
Well, I think I was talking to Dr. Drew about this, and I think first off, if you're a private company, you can do whatever you want. So I'll try to be consistent. But there is a difference, I think, like, are you for companies dropping things or boycotts or whatever? And I would kind of say it's case by case. If you do something that's egregious and horrible and foul like he did, like he really did it, then he doubled down on it, then he tripled down on it, then in a weird way, you don't give you don't give the company a choice, essentially.
Right.
I push back on the kind of nothing burgers where
I'm just distancing
myself. Where ABC's got to distance themselves from the host of The Bachelor, or The Talk has to shit can Sharon Osbourne over nothing burgers. That I fucking hate all day long. It's still their right. I just hate it. But then certain times you don't have a choice.
Right.
If you're guy, you're some NBA star you sponsors banging some underage chick or something, then you have to do it.
Yeah. And I know I'm not exactly their target demo. Maybe, I don't know. But I was looking for shoes last night. I loved these ones Adidas. I was pulling up some Puma, some Nike, and I got the Puma ones. And my husband was like, well, why didn't you get the Adidas? I was like, fuck them. So I think some people would just have that too much in their head. Now, that was the night before. I wish I would have pulled the trigger today. But, I think there's enough people that it would do more than $250 million worth of damage.
Is he not fully divorced from Kim Kardashian yet?
I thought that was a long time ago.
Well, but those things could drag out for
what do I know?
No further than Brad Pitt.
right.
These things can go on for
That's a good
years. So I don't know that's been settled. And then what is he getting out of that versus what is she's got a couple of shekels in the bank.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's got a lot. I don't know if he's got more than her.
I doubt it. I think we've talked about how on a Forbes list or something she makes more.
Could be a Tom Brady
wow.
Giselle situation where
Right.
either way it's a shitload.
Well, and he has $150 million he has to put under his mattress now because the bank dropped him.
Did see whose net worth is more, Kim or Kanye? And then are they divorced? I don't think they're divorced yet. I think this has been going.
And as of when? Because Ben just sent me the headline, Kanye West reportedly no longer a billionaire as companies cut ties. So I think as of right now, she's definitely out in front.
I'll do what everyone I hate does. I think he'll be just fine.
Oh, I think he'll land on his
I think
feet.
he's got $775 million. I think he'll be fine.
Oh, will
I'm
he?
worried more about the school teacher
Understood.
who's having trouble putting dinner on the table. You understand?
Understood.
Yeah.
I wonder how many. Actually, I can answer this myself since it's a Christian school. But I was going to say, I wonder how many kids at the Donda Academy are Jews. Probably very few.
You guys always hear those bullshit. My heart bleeds for all the poor dumb shits out there. But when I always hear these, you do hear these stories where they go
Famous
like,
quotes.
with the economy that's going on today, many parents are having to make the decision between school supplies and dinner. And I'm like, well, first off, how big a fuck up can you be? But number one, aren't school supplies just almost free at this point? I mean, what would Walmart,
Pencils and a
Target,
Trapper Keeper.
There is a 99
shit,
cent store that can provide just about everything you need.
don't you feel like, is it really? But have a choice. I'd choose dinner, by the way. I would
Meatloaf or peachy folders.
Always vote for meatloaf.
Yeah.
But is that really what we're talking? I get it. Things are expensive and people don't have money. But shit like that is almost free now.
Like Brian said, there's a dollar store in every corner.
There's a dollar store next to it is the Panda Express, where for $6 you can load up.
Pound of food.
Yes, sorry. Sorry, poor people.
Yeah. So interesting. Don't know if you've heard about this yet. Fox News reports that the New York State Supreme Court has reinstated all employees who were fired for not being vaccinated, ordering back pay and saying their rights had been violated. The court found Monday that, quote, being vaccinated does not prevent an individual from contracting or transmitting COVID-19. New York City Mayor Eric Adams claimed earlier this year that his administration wouldn't rehire anyone who'd been fired over the vaccine status. NYC alone roughly fired 1,400 employees for being unvaccinated earlier this year after the city adopted a vaccine mandate under Bill de Blasio. Many of those fired were police officers and firefighters, so they have to be reinstated, I guess, if they want to,
Good.
and they'll be
Fuck
back
all
paid.
the pussies who are like, you're putting us all in danger. We can spread it. You get vaccinated and be on your fucking way. Good. Net worth, the divorce is ongoing. And the net worth is Kim is worth $1.8 billion.
Okay.
With a B.
With an M.
That's billion with an M. Kanye, $2 billion.
For now.
As of
now.
yesterday.
Yeah, as of yesterday, yeah.
I think he'll be just fine.
Okay. I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Financially, he'll be just fine.
That's
Mentally,
right.
emotionally, all
Yeah.
those things. I don't know.
It's a little bit of a spiral.
Yeah.
Really sad. I guess we kind of saw this coming. Maybe sad Brittney Griner news. Russian judge has denied her appeal of her 9-year prison sentence and ordered her to be moved to a penal colony. The 32-year-old WNBA star who was detained in February and later convicted of possession of cannabis oil was hoping to have her prison sentence reduced. Instead, the judge upheld the sentence. Now Griner's best hope for release lies with the U.S. government doing a prisoner swap.
How much does Putin know about this?
It's pretty
All of it.
public.
Coming from him?
I would
Yeah,
imagine.
I think so.
Just holding
So
on to.
he's
You
like
think-
simultaneously
Yeah.
trying to work his strategy
Hold
out
on.
with Ukraine, and then someone is also talking to him
Who's
about
more
Brittney
image
Griner?
conscious than Putin? The
Nobody.
fucking horse, shirtless horse pictures. He's on a skate, scored the
I don't
goal.
wanna
That's
def-
right,
I don't
they
wanna
let him win all
defend
the
the man,
hockey
but the
games.
horse was naked too, Brian.
That's a good point. If
So-
it was some random Russian, do you think they'll get 9 years for cannabis?
No. I'm saying, is he literally weighing in on her case and at the war room pushing around the magnetic tanks and stuff
I wouldn't be
at the
shocked.
Ukraine?
I think it makes sense since the only way out of this is a prisoner swap.
And the,
Who do they
the
want?
war is not going well for them. So
No.
it would,
Depends who you ask, Brian.
Well,
Good point,
but
but-
maybe it's not going well because he's so fucking
That's what I'm-
distracted by
that
this
is
one
exactly what I'm
person.
saying.
WNBA.
that's 100%
Lord, I've said this many times, but I mean it. Not only is she in this fucking horrible prison, but she's tall.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in a third world
Stand out.
place or a shitbox country and be 7 foot tall and in prison. You're going to whack your head on every single cement door jamb in that entire place. And what the fuck? And then what do? Do we offer some? Ugh.
Yeah.
We didn't we offer Victor? But not for her, for somebody else. Victor Bout. Remember the?
No, we already have allegedly offered someone like an arms dealer.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I think we got somebody else back, not her. I can't remember his name escapes me. But she did say in a statement she did not intend to bring the canister into the country. She was hoping the judge would reduce the sentence because she pleaded guilty to the charges. And again, I have questions about how hard her defending attorney is
Right.
working for her over there. But she says that this is very stressful, very traumatic. U.S. officials and Brittney's wife, Carolla Griner, insist she's being wrongfully detained to be used as a political pawn. So we'll see who they get back.
Do you remember that
Russia.
movie Return to Paradise?
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn gets
Yeah.
get caught with enough weed to
Thailand?
Yeah. That has always stuck with me.
That
'Cause that's gotta
Midnight
be a bad
Express,
day.
I
Yeah,
was
Midnight
like,
Express.
I get it, and I'm too depressed to watch this.
Yeah.
I've heard Midnight Express is like the most depressing movie ever made.
Oh, you
Yeah.
never seen it?
Never seen
And
it.
it's a classic, but you're going to be depressed.
That's my whole thing.
More depressing than like The Pianist or Schindler's List.
Well, apples and oranges, but exceptionally depressing. Bleak.
No, Bleak. Yeah, got it.
Schindler's List could be uplifting in a certain way, in that this guy had this
Saved a couple
humanity
of
in the
kids.
middle of whatever. But
There's
yeah,
none of that.
None of that. Nah, I'm watching old school again.
Well, let's stay in the courtroom just one more time. Harvey Weinstein's L.A. trial kicked off Monday with opening statements. They didn't even call him a disgraced producer, a former mega producer. He's charged with several counts of rape and sexual assault. His attorney, Mark Worksman, told jurors to be prepared to hear a fire hose of false and unprovable allegations
boy.
from women who agreed to have consensual sex with Weinstein but are now embarrassed and lying about the encounters.
That's what everyone I've had sex with does. They're all humiliated.
They should put you on the stand.
Lie about it.
At one point, Worksman pointed to Weinstein, this is fabulous, and said, "Look at my client. He's not Brad Pitt. He's not George Clooney. Do you think these beautiful women had sex with him because he's hot? No, it's because he's powerful." Worksman argued
Say that checks out.
Sure, transactional sex was common in Hollywood before the Me Too movement. He said it may have been unpleasant and now embarrassing, but everyone did it. He did it. They did it.
So they're not denying it happened. They're denying that the intention.
Exactly. And one
Wow.
more. Worksman said if Jennifer
It's a
Siebel
good angle.
Newsom.
Sorry, go
No,
ahead.
it is. If Jennifer Siebel Newsom, the first partner of California, California's first lady, quote, she'd be just another bimbo who slept with Harvey Weinstein to get ahead. If she wasn't the first
But
lady.
weren't a lot of
California.
the allegations like he threw them on the bed and then forced
Yeah,
himself?
exactly.
There's a
They weren't
pattern
just
of
like,
abuse.
yeah, I'm a little more powerful than you.
He did a lot. He if he was dressed and someone knocked on the door, he would change into a bathrobe. Like every story is he answered the door in his bathrobe.
Right.
Which I guess you can pull off in a hotel setting. It doesn't work residentially
Yeah,
as much.
that's
It's like
funny.
4:30 in the afternoon.
Says
You
Four
have Epstein
Seasons.
Barr virus or something. Are you clinically depressed? Like, he probably did all this shit in the bathrobe because there's that nice bathrobe
Yeah.
at the Four Seasons and it's begging for you to don it.
Yeah. Right.
And for some reason, if you're in a hotel room, you took a shower at 3 in the afternoon and now I'm in my bathrobe and now you're knocking on the door.
And he allegedly always switched meetings to his hotel room. You know, like they were supposed to meet at the bar, the lobby.
So he did the whole bathrobe move.
Yeah.
That's his signature move. And then the lawyer switching it from this didn't happen
he
to
did it.
they agreed on it.
Exactly.
That's how she got the role. It's like he's doing a thing where he's going, hey, he's not proud of it, but that's the way this town used to work. I could offer up 200 million examples of it. This is just a guy who did the most of it.
Right.
It's an angle.
Yeah. Might work for a jury. Yeah, we'll see.
But I mean,
and
as far as angles
prison.
go, I guess that's the best one to take.
Yeah, but this isn't going to let him out. He's already in prison in New York. This is just another trial.
Yeah. So he's out here now. I should ask Mark Garagos where he is. The Twin Towers.
Maybe we can get him on.
You know what's really weird? I don't know if you guys have experienced this. Maybe, Court, you have. I'll see movies. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I'll see movies recently, that have the Miramax logo.
Yeah.
Because they're like attached from like 5,
Shakespeare
10
in
years.
Love.
Yeah, but I'm saying a new movie.
Oh,
that they're
okay.
like attached from like 5, 7, 8 years ago, and it's like Miramax. So like you almost get like a shudder, like, oh, they're still around.
That's wild. No, I hadn't noticed that.
I didn't think I'd noticed that.
Wait a minute.
was
Did
the
my
place to be.
movie have that in the front of it?
We gotta strike that. Your movie's gonna get canceled, bro.
It was never uncanceled. Was the Hammer? Did the Hammer have a Miramax thing?
Or was it the Weinstein Company?
Oh, it was a Weinstein.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it was the Weinstein. I think I got that in my movie.
Yeah.
boy.
No, boy.
I
Well,
just
no
watched
one's
that
seen
the
it.
other night, by the way. I like that.
Oh, thanks.
The Hammer, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Are you still boxing at all?
My hands are too fucked up now.
Come over here and find out.
Yeah.
That's like one of those things. Like I'm looking, I'm going, I kind of feel like I could hang with him, and then I take 3 shots to the head.
I would do shadow boxing now. My hands are too beat up to hit the heavy bag, but actually it becomes a little blessing in disguise, because the best thing you can do to sharpen your boxing skills is to shadow box in front of a mirror. That's the best thing you can do, but everyone wants to wail away on the bag. But when you wail away in the bag, you're just kind of cementing bad form. So actually, shadow boxing is a better way to get the technique set in.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because we want to talk about Jake Paul again. He is giving those picking Anderson Silva to win on October 29th enough time to reconsider, telling TMZ Sports that they're going to lose all their money. TMZ spoke to Paul, who's currently the betting underdog against the former UFC champ. And despite having a ton of respect for his opponent, because he went on, very effusive about Silva, Paul says he's out for blood as soon as they hit the ring. Here's a clip of Paul describing how it's going to go down and how long it's going to take.
And everyone who bet on me, good stuff, man. You're going to have some dough, maybe a new car, maybe your rent paid. Because I'm knocking this guy out. I promise everyone that.
Do you have a feeling that when you imagine how it unfolds, is there a round? Is it early in the fight, late in the fight? When do you put him out?
Less than 5 rounds. Guaranteed that. Guarantee that. Come back to this interview, everyone, after the fight, and they'll say, wow, he predicted the future. I have a crystal ball in my room, and I can see it.
Yeah, I think so a lot of the experts I speak to say take Anderson Silva, because he's got such great hands and such great experience and blah, blah, blah. But he's 47 years old, but he's naturally big. He's very fluid, and been a lot of discussion. He's a favorite, but I don't think it's by much. But it's hard to bet against Jake Paul.
Have you put money on it?
No, Mike August keeps calling me and wanting to know what we're doing for the fight, and I'll see Mike this weekend in San Diego. So we bet on a few UFC fights in our day, and it's tough. It's really 47 versus 25. That's the rub.
So you think the stamina?
Not so much the stamina, but just the general what happened. What the difference between you at 25 and you at 47 is just a thing.
Yeah.
Now, when Anderson Silva was 30, he was one of the best guys with his hands and everything else in the UFC, and he's also a boxer. So it's not just UFC, grappler guy going against guy who's been training at boxing. It's just the question is that 22 years span? That's the rub. And that's why the fight's exciting, because Anderson in his prime would probably make short work of him, but now he's 47.
It's more of a fair
A
fight.
couple of sites that I just checked have Paul as a slight favorite.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
I guess it's moving around.
That is a little bit, but between 100 minus 130 and minus 150. Slight favorite.
The hammer just has Lionsgate on the front of it, I guess. I swore it had
Dodged a bullet.
Weinstein.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a better
Well,
one to have on the front.
the one that's streaming it just.
Oh,
has
the one that's
landscapes. I don't
streaming.
know. Maybe it's different when you saw it in theaters and.
They canceled that shit.
I think they maybe somebody took that off of there. Well, anyway, one more, Gina Grad.
All right. Let's talk about some pants, some very interesting pants. A pair of Levi's jeans from the
I heard about
1880s, yes, has sold at an auction in a small town in New Mexico for more than $87,000. Now, I'm going to give you a job description that
I
is
already know.
fascinating.
I know this story.
Okay, well,
It
the
had
jeans.
$85,798 in the front
That's
pocket.
exactly
and
right.
That's
right. That's like when they do the $10,000 ice cream with the diamond on top.
Yeah.
No.
No.
This is the jeans were found in an abandoned mine by a denim archaeologist. They were bought by a 23-year-old.
Sounds like a gay term, right?
Indiana Jones 6. Denim archaeologist.
If you're a power bottom, also a denim archaeologist.
And someone who was a veteran of the vintage denim market. The jeans were sold for $87,400, one of the highest prices ever paid for a pair of denims. Only a couple of similar pairs exist, but they're kept in museums. They're too delicate to wear. These are apparently wearable. The jeans also, now, it's a little hard to see on the screen, but the jeans also allude to a dark episode in the country's history. An inside pocket is printed with the phrase, "the only kind made by white labor." The Wall
Wow.
Street Journal cited a Levi's spokesperson who explained that the company used the slogan after the introduction of the Chinese Exclusion Act in 1882, which barred Chinese laborers from entering the U.S. The Wall Street Journal reported that Levi's dropped this policy and this slogan in the 1890s, and the act was repealed in 1943. But these are in really priceless condition.
It lasted until 1943.
The act,
Christ.
and proudly made with white labor.
Imagine how gay this sounds like if someone goes, "What are you doing today, Bob?" "Going down to the mine shaft with the denim archaeologist."
I hear it. I pick up what you're putting down,
Oh,
buddy.
yeah, they got a happy hour there.
No, we're hunting for jeans.
Yeah?
Yep, yep.
All right. So which stall is the glory hole?
hairless-
No,
sir.
we're digging in the dirt for
Yes.
jeans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Way ahead of you.
They have pot stickers?
Did they say anything about the D-bag who bought these? You said 23-year-old
there's
had 86
two
grand
guys.
lying
Yeah.
around?
Zip Stevenson and Kyle Hotner.
It's Jake Paul.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a little, you can
Kyle
kind of
Hotner sounds like the best looking frat guy ever.
It was old school.
Kyle Hotner's the guy with the convertible vat.
That's right. Pulls up with not a hair out of place.
That's right.
Yeah, looking at the,
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Everything seems nuts until they sell it in 4 years for $2.7 million
Right.
bucks or something, and then it doesn't seem nuts, right?
Absolutely.
All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Oh my God, you're lame.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.
All right, San Diego Mic Drop coming up this weekend, October 28th, 29th. So you can come out and say hi to us there, stand up there, and live pod there. Jodie Sweetin, A Cozy Christmas Inn, that premieres on Friday in the Hallmark Channel. Court Crandall, Bromates, in a theater or two, but also VOD now as we speak as well. Thanks for hanging with us, Court.
Oh, thanks for having me, you guys. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Until next time, Adam Carolla for Jodie Sweetin and Court Crandall and Bo Bryan and Gina Grad saying mahalo.